tonight on CTV News at 6. Check this out. A driver from Quebec is hurt after trying to pass a tractor trailer near the Soo. Revitalization tool.
We can evaluate after this is fully implemented, and then we can see if we can do more.
The city of Timmins announces new housing improvement grant programs. And the federal government is investing in a startup company in Sudbury.
We use that NORCAT testing facility almost every week.
Bringing smart and AI technologies to the mining sector.
CTV News at 6 with Tony Ryma and Rick Wyman with weather.
Good evening. Thanks so much for being with us on Thursday, February 19th. East Algoma OPP are speaking out about the collision near Bruce Mines yesterday, releasing this dash cam footage of the incident. The video shows a pickup truck passing a transport when the truck makes contact with the tractor trailer and spins out. Police say the truck landed upside down in a ditch, leaving a 67-year-old Quebec driver injured and charged in the crash. Police are reminding everyone that patience, proper judgment, and safe passing practices are important. Today in Sudbury, there was a $1.5 million FedNor funding announcement. The federal government is investing in a mining testing facility and an emerging AI company. CTV's Alana Everson reports.
LoopX is a startup company that is based in Sudbury. It moved from Waterloo 2 years ago to bring smart and AI technologies to the mining sector. The company received $480,000 in FedNor funding to advance its AI-powered analytics system.
We have a focus on safety primarily and also other applications in productivity. We have a collision avoidance system which is helping people see through dust and darkness underground, and we also have some systems to track the productivity of trucks and loaders in underground mines.
Sudbury is creating an innovation hub, and what we're seeing now is that we have enterprises that are moving and coming to Sudbury.
The MP for Sudbury also announced just over $1 million in funding to complete Phase 3 of the NORCAT Underground Centre expansion in Onaping.
When they're developing this technology, it's one thing to develop it in a lab or an office building. It's another thing to be able to develop that technology in a real referenceable underground environment where they can install that technology and demonstrate it and test it, where there's blasting, there's mining activity, there's heavy equipment going past.
We use that NORCAT testing facility almost every week, and it provides an excellent space for us to test out new technologies before actually deploying them on mine sites.
Officials with NORCAT say it's proud to be a locally driven organization that promotes, educates, and supports entrepreneurs, innovators, and workers. Alana Everson, CTV News, Sudbury.
This is the 4th annual Pension Awareness Day put on by the Financial Services Regulatory Authority of Ontario, or FSRA. The organization is using the day to urge workers and employers to look closer at workplace pensions. Details from CTV's Lindsay Alick.
FSRA data shows that while workplace pension membership has increased in Ontario, officials say many could still benefit from additional planning steps.
We've seen an increase of about 200,000 people more participating in these workplace pension plans this year. A lot of people who are participating in our workplace pension plans, they do receive an annual pension statement. And one of the research findings we had is that half the people don't even read their pension statement or may not understand them.
Other findings include 8 in 10 respondents have not fully developed a retirement plan. 66% have not calculated how much money they'll need in retirement. And 1 in 2 can't recall the last time they spoke to someone about saving for retirement.
If you haven't calculated your pension or you haven't developed a plan, it's never too late. Most people don't do it till they're closer to retirement, and the earlier you do it, the better.
Jason Bissonnette has been a financial advisor for 8 years in Sudbury and says he spoke to an advisor at just 17 years old.
It's the best thing that ever happened to me. And just this morning, I had a meeting with a client, and she is 21 years old and wants to start planning for her retirement and her future, graduating from college in a couple months. And she just wants to plan for sort of the rest of her life. And it's not just retirement planning, also the financial planning goal to, plan to buy a house, plan to retire, plan to potentially maybe buy a cottage in the future. It's one of these subjects that a lot of people kind of sort of take for granted, right? It's live for today, worry about tomorrow.
This year's Pension Awareness Day campaign highlights the 3 keys to retirement security. Understand your plan, stay informed and engaged, and plan ahead. Lindsay Alick, CTV News, Sudbury.
Timmins City Council has greenlit new incentives to stimulate housing development. The city's Director of Growth and Infrastructure says the 3 financial programs will support a range of housing projects. CTV's Lydia Chubak reports.
Timmins City Council has taken another step towards addressing its housing shortage. Council recently approved an incentive plan aimed at encouraging new home construction in the city. The plan includes 3 financial incentive programs. One offers up to $7,500 per unit for 2 to 4 unit dwellings. Another provides a rebate on property taxes, and the third reimburses Planning Act application fees.
The per door grant is more fixated for the smaller developments for basically 4, 5 units or less, and then the tax increment is for the larger developments, which is 5 units plus.
Tam says the incentives are a starting point to help increase the city's overall housing supply.
We can evaluate after this is fully implemented, and then we can see if we can do more. Again, it's we had to start somewhere.
These programs come in addition to the Melrose Heights subdivision development, a municipally owned project that will transform the land into approximately 241 residential lots. Tam says work will begin in March in this vicinity with some tree clearing.
And then we will be going back out for tender to actually start doing a lot of the civil infrastructure work. So that will be later on in a couple months.
Tam says the city is putting both infrastructure and incentives in place to encourage developers to build. In 2025, there were 33 new housing starts. Lydia Chubak, CTV News, Timmins.
The Near North District School Board is hosting a public town hall meeting about the Parry Sound School construction. Minister of Education Paul Calandra, MPP Graydon Smith, and Director of Education Jay McJanet are expected to be at the meeting tonight. While the focus will be on the building project, the supervision of the Near North District School Board and broader student achievement improvements will be on the table. The meeting begins at 7 p.m. at the Parry Sound High School gym. CTV's Eric Tashner will have more on this story at 11:30 tonight. All right, it's time for our first check on weather. We received some sunshine on this Thursday. To tell us more about the conditions, here's CTV's Rick Wyman.
I like the weather today, Tony. It was nice. It was nice in Greater Sudbury, nice in some areas as well. Now, some other areas of the Northeast had some snow to deal with, and of course we had 5 centimeters overnight, so not all that bad. More snow coming up, as we'll see later on in the 7-day forecast. Our systems map, of course, brought to you by Environment Canada. Another system moving in, and we'll have 5 more centimeters of snow tomorrow in the Sault, 2 to 4. North Bay, another 5. Some snow in Wawa happening overnight. So again, it's like snow, no snow, continuing over the course of the next couple of days. And then it'll get colder by Monday. So we'll take a look at that story and a lot more. That's the big story right now, the transition into next week. Tony, back to you.
Thanks for that, Rick. Going up, still to come on CTV News at 6. It's going to be more expensive to send your child to summer camp in Sudbury. First, we're heading to the mouth of the Michipicoten River. This live webcam is courtesy of the municipality of Wawa. The temperature is -2 degrees. We're back in a few minutes.
Tomorrow.
They made it sound like mournful event.
Born with a condition but refusing to be defined by it. How Kyle Landy is defying the odds and lifting others along the way.
This man has single-handedly helped save my life.
Tomorrow on CTV National News and watch on Crave.
Sudbury's health unit shared some of its successes from 2025 today, including a near-perfect record for local vaccine coverage. At its board meeting, Public Health Sudbury Districts detailed its response to a measles outbreak, crediting in-person engagement and staff working extended hours. Officials say one of the biggest wins of the year was vaccine coverage, with the health unit hitting a 99% compliance rate, the highest in the region. The health unit's medical officer of health says he attributes a lot of that to the work done post-pandemic.
In the fall of 2022, right after the emergency regulations were dropped, and the constant work we've done since then is, I think, the biggest factor that's helped. Secondary factors is the one-on-one interaction we have with parents and with families to help support them and find pathways for them to get vaccinated, help deal with their questions so they have the confidence to get the vaccines, as well as working with our schools and our healthcare partners to make sure they're helping us support this network.
During the meeting, it was also announced that Dr. Hergy has permanently taken over the role as Medical Officer of Health. French River's mayor informing residents it's not just big cities that have been feeling the tariff pinch in the midst of the U.S. economic trade war. Small communities are feeling it too. In her yearly State of the Town address, Giselle Pajot telling residents it's had an impact on the community south of Sudbury.
So for instance, our 2 lumber mills have been severely affected with the tariffs, and our huge project with Anmar has been put on hold because naturally they use a lot of steel, and the steel tariffs are a problem right now. So until the government gets its act together, and I'm talking about the American government, we'll feel the effects for a long time.
Pajot also reiterating previous comments she had made, calling the province's super mayor powers ill-conceived. Nearly 3,000 residents call the municipality home, but that population more than doubles in the warmer months. The city of Greater Sudbury is considering increasing its user fees for summer day camps and playground programs. We get more from CTV's Angela Gemmell.
While summer camps provide children and youth with recreational activities, they're also affordable childcare for parents.
We do survey our campers yearly, and we're definitely meeting expectations, and campers are coming back year after year, which to me speaks volumes.
McIsaac says YMCA Northeastern Ontario keeps its rates affordable so all can participate.
Through our various donors and sponsors, we're able to ensure that all of our programs and services are available regardless of the families who we serve's financial circumstance.
It's these day camp rates from the YMCA and other local organizations that the city used to compare its user fees. A report going to City Council next week recommends user fees increase for the day camp program on Ramsey Lake called Camp Sedaka, as well as neighborhood playground programs at various sites. Last year, it cost $220 a week to send a child to Camp Sedaka compared to $260 for the YMCA and Science North. City staff also compared Sudbury's rates with other municipalities. The report recommends increasing Camp Sedaka to $325, while neighborhood playground programs would jump from $55 to $150. It's meant to improve the city's cost recovery from half to roughly 78%. McIsaac says they don't compare themselves to other providers.
We focus on what we do and ensure that our quality is there. We have staff who are well trained and able to really perform high quality programs and camps that we offer. And again, by removing those barriers that families have when finances get in the way, we make sure that we're open to all.
While the city doesn't have a formal user fee subsidy program, the Parks and Recreation staff work with Children's Services to promote fee subsidies and programs offered by others. The changes would add almost $200,000 in additional revenue for the city. Angela Gemmell, CTV News, Sudbury.
Well, Greater Sudbury Police stopped by Lively District Secondary School as part of the annual Sled Days. CTV's Madison Merrier has more on that.
Over 30 snowmobiles were parked in front of the school with students in grades 7 to 11 eager to get on the trails.
Safety for our students comes first for us as educators. Just knowing the rules, sometimes they're not trying to break the rules, they just are not aware of some of the rules.
Yesterday, students were in class learning snowmobile safety, and this morning they put their new knowledge to work.
You want to start young, and if you look behind us here, there's all sorts of generations of snowmobiles out here, so they're passionate about the sport, and they want to get out there, and it's important to foster that safe aspect of it when they're young, and that spreads.
I learned some of the hand signals I forgot, so it was good to know them again yesterday.
And yeah, I learned that if you fall into the water, it's good to wet your gloves and then stick them in the ice and then freeze them there. so that you stay up above the water.
Sauvé said this program helps to foster students' relationships to reduce fear of police on the trails.
I feel like it's very important to ensure that our students and that we're proactive in providing safe trail education to them, and using these community partners to provide such an opportunity is a fantastic way to spend a day.
We want to foster that community relationship with the kids. So if they see us on the trails, they want to stop and they want to talk to us and tell us what's going on.
Confederation Secondary School was a part of the in-classroom learning, and they'll have their time on the trails in March. Madison Merrier, CTV News, Lively.
Back now for a check on the current conditions with Rick.
We're going to check out the forecast radar. We've got another system of precipitation moving into the northeast, as you're liable to see right here, right now, after a day of sunshine throughout most of the northeast for today. Yes, we're back to the chance of snow for tomorrow. More coming up on the 7-day forecast. Our current temperatures for this hour: -11 in Moosonee, -4 in Cochrane, -3 in Timmins, -4 in Kapuskasing. Either a few clouds or clear skies. Chapleau +1, Wawa -2, and Sault Ste. Marie at 0. Also the risk of freezing drizzle in some locales for this evening. Parry Sound, a few clouds and +4 for this evening and overnight. More of the same in North Bay at +1, -1 Temiskaming Shores, and Kirkland Lake also -1, clear conditions. Greater Sudbury +1 and clear, +2 in Espanola, +1 in Elliott Lake, and Gore Bay 2 degrees. So again, risk of freezing drizzle depending on where you live, but predominantly some clear conditions. We'll take a look at the 7-day forecast and feature our pick of the day, all coming up just minutes away.
Thanks for that, Rick. What happens next? Coming up on CTV News at 6. The former British Prince Andrew is arrested over ties to Jeffrey Epstein. And a new report says youth should help guide Canada's online safety campaign. A blockbuster moment in British and royal history. The King's brother, Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, arrested by police on his 66th birthday. He's under investigation for misconduct related to allegations that, as special British trade envoy, he shared sensitive information with convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. CTV's Abigail Beeman has more.
Police stand outside Sandringham Estate, home to former Prince Andrew, later seen leaving a police station in this vehicle. The arrest on suspicion of misconduct in public office comes after police said they were looking into allegations Mountbatten Windsor had passed on documents to the late sex offender Jeffrey Epstein while he was working as a trade envoy.
It truly is a seismic moment for this country, and I think for the monarchy as well.
So what's your reaction to your brother's arrest?
King Charles wasn't answering questions Thursday about his little brother, but released a statement saying he learned the news with the deepest concern and the law must take its course. Mountbatten Windsor spent a decade as trade envoy. He made about a dozen visits to Canada in that period. Emails released in the Epstein files suggest he shared UK government reports in 2010. Mountbatten Windsor has always denied wrongdoing.
Whether those details that were passed on by Andrew to Epstein were all part of his job and part of his responsibilities, well, that's an open question. However, the official guidance for trade envoys was that they have a duty of confidentiality.
The family of Virginia Giuffre says the arrest is a win for Epstein victims. She died by suicide in May and in 2022 settled a lawsuit accusing the former prince of sexually abusing her as a teenager.
I think we're very hopeful that this is the start of the domino effect. This is where the house of cards starts falling.
Police released a short statement after the former prince was seen leaving the police station, saying he was released under investigation with some police searches of royal property still underway. Abigail Beeman, CTV News, Ottawa.
A new analysis by J.P. Morgan Chase shows that tariffs paid by mid-sized U.S. businesses tripled last year, despite claims by the Trump administration that foreigners are covering these costs. These mid-sized companies account for 48 million workers in the U.S. and have had to find ways to absorb the tariffs by either passing the cost along to customers, employing fewer workers, or accepting lower profits. The research doesn't say how additional costs are affecting the economy, but it does indicate that tariffs are being paid for by U.S. firms. Meanwhile, Federal Minister Dominic LeBlanc has wrapped up his trade mission in Mexico. While many business leaders will continue meetings in the coming days, LeBlanc is touting the progress made so far.
This Team Canada trade mission has sent a strong message about Canada and Canadian businesses' commitment to establishing an ongoing and lasting presence here in Mexico.
LeBlanc also reiterated that Canada is looking to double its non-U.S. exports over the next decade. The trade mission got underway Sunday with the aim of strategizing ahead of the mandatory CUSMA review and forging bilateral relationships. The federal NDP are holding their second and final leadership debate tonight with just 5 weeks left before members elect their new leader. The 5 candidates who will be on the ballot will face off on stage. It has been a too close to call campaign. CTV's Rachel Aiello reports.
In a tight race that struggled to resonate beyond New Democrat supporters, the stakes are high for the candidates debating, but also for the party, as it looks to demonstrate to Canadians its viability in the wake of a disastrous outcome for the NDP in the last election.
Party members know that a leader is not going to go from the position that we're in now to instant success. There's going to have to be a building process.
Facing off are Avi Lewis, Heather McPherson, Rob Ashton, Tenniel Johnston, and Tony McQuail. And while the majority of the debate will be in English, after they struggled in French,
Langue français et le Québec.
The party will be giving candidates a short second chance tonight. Expect questions on the economy, sovereignty, energy, and government cuts.
What I'm hoping to hear tonight from the people who are really leading in this race are some different aspects, some different points, and how they would make themselves a leader that could potentially rebuild this party from the current 7 seats they have into something that could be viable in the next election campaign.
NDP insiders say while Lewis appears to have the momentum based on his fundraising numbers and digital presence, it could come down to who mobilizes the most members and motivates them to vote.
Who can land those key clips, who can project a vision for members, that's going to be critical in how the vote plays out.
After tonight's debate, the candidates will be going all in on getting out the vote. The months-long search for the permanent replacement to Jagmeet Singh ends next month. The winner will be crowned at the party's convention in Winnipeg. Rachel Aiello, CTV News, New Westminster, BC.
And there's more news still ahead, but first, here's your full weather forecast with Rick.
Let's begin with the forecast radar. Just in time for the weekend, we've got more precipitation moving into northeastern Ontario for tomorrow. Greater Sudbury about 5 centimeters, Sault Ste. Marie 2 to 4, and North Bay also 5 centimeters of snow in the forecast as that continues over the course of the weekend. Gets colder by Monday. We'll take a look at some of the numbers momentarily. Chance of flurries, Greater Sudbury, Sault Ste. Marie, more of the same. A few clouds, Timmins. Temiskaming Shore is partly cloudy. Chance of flurries in North Bay. In Moosoudi, chance of flurries, Caphurst, Wawa 2 to 4 centimeters of snow, Gore Bay, chance of flurries, and cloudy in Parry Sound. Now the number is right across for the next 7 days. 5 centimeters of snow in Greater Sudbury tomorrow. Chance of flurries on Saturday and Sunday. Some cloud cover Monday, -9. Then it gets colder Tuesday, -12 with a chance of flurries. Warming up again Wednesday, chance of flurries with a high of -3. Sault Ste. Marie tomorrow, 2 to 4 centimeters, a high of +1. Chance of flurries Saturday and Sunday, both days -2. -9 on Monday, some sun and cloud. Then the chance of flurries Tuesday and Wednesday, -8 and -3, your daytime highs. Meanwhile, in Timmins, Cochrane, Kapuskasing, gradual clearing tomorrow. Should be a nice day, -2, -5 with the sunshine Saturday. Chance of flurries on Sunday, -5, -16 on the transition Monday with lots of cloud cover. Tuesday, chance of flurries and -13. Then the warm up again, -5 on Wednesday. Take a look at that -27 number. That's the overnight low in Timmins, Cochrane, and Kapuskasing. Then it warms up by the next night. Let's have a look now and see what's happening in Temiskaming Shores and Kirkland Lake. Cloud cover tomorrow, +1. Chance of flurries Saturday, -4. More of the same on Sunday. Monday, we've got cloud cover, -12, -13. Tuesday, chance of flurries. And Wednesday, a bit of a warm up there, -4. Take a look at the overnight temperatures. You go from -14 to -26 Monday night. That's going to be right across the Northeast. Somewhat colder night, then warming up once again at -14 overnight on Tuesday. North Bay, West Nipissing. Snow tomorrow, 5 centimeters, -1. Chance of flurries on Saturday, -3. -3 again on Sunday, chance of flurries. Monday, cloud cover, -7. Then we get colder Tuesday, chance of flurries, -11. Then we get warmer Wednesday, chance of flurries, -3. So not again, off again forecast for the next little while, but it's shaping up to be at least a better start to the work week. Monday, some colder weather, then it'll start to warm up. Let's take a look now at our pick of the day for today. Great shot here, courtesy of Joanne Paduti. Sunset lively. It's right by Junction Creek, so getting a lot of pics around the Junction Creek Fielding Park area. So again, people are out and about with the sunshine. I like that, Joanne. Thank you so much. Still to come, 4th annual skate-a-thon to raise money for rare diseases in Espanola. That's coming up in just a couple of minutes.
Hockey is Canada's national sport and national obsession, but it's also an expensive sport to play. Sticks in particular can run hundreds of dollars to replace. CTV's Pat Foran now on one father's quest to cut costs and keep his kids' sticks on the ice.
Brody. Back for Nylander, shoots it. When one of the Toronto Maple Leafs breaks a stick, they skate to the bench to get a new one. Sticks often self-destruct at the wrong time, and when it happens in recreational and minor hockey games, they're expensive to replace.
Where do sticks typically break?
Well, honestly, they're
everywhere.
Everywhere.
Okay.
Everywhere and anywhere.
Rod Daigle of Mississauga has 2 sons in AAA hockey. Like many parents, he was getting frustrated with his growing stick budget.
When a stick costs anywhere from $380 to $450, and you need to have 3 or 4 in a season, that adds up.
Most composite hockey sticks only come with a 30-day warranty. Daigle says it seemed like many would break not long after the warranty expired, so he devised a way to repair them.
I received this goalie stick yesterday, asked to be repaired. You see the shaft is snapped here, so that should be a pretty straightforward repair.
Daigle says shafts are easier to fix than blades, and sometimes it's better to fuse 2 broken sticks together to create a new one, something he calls a Frankenstick.
Rather than, toss them in the landfill, I'm actually able to make new sticks that are affordable and usable and nearly as light as the original.
He started out helping his sons, but now has a small business, Stick Medic, repairing sticks often for recreational players. He has his own method using resin, composite fibers, and a steady hand. He charges about $80 for a repair and says he guarantees it won't break in the same place.
Families are getting tired of the breakage and short lifespan of these highly expensive sticks.
Daigle is not sure how big his business will grow, but says it's good to let players know they have options. So if you have an expensive broken stick, you may be able to repair it and get it back in the game. Pat Foran, CTV News.
A group of young people spoke on Parliament Hill yesterday, demanding a bigger voice in shaping Canada's digital rules. It comes amid a global push to limit the harms created by social media. CTV's Abigail Beeman reports.
1, 2, 3, to you!
Among this group of young people on Parliament Hill, Jordan Varney says online bullying from a young age actually changed her personality.
My light kind of dimmed, you could say. Like the spark that you have as a child where you're happy and you want to do all these things and you have these dreams, these kind of cruel areas can really diminish people's light.
Worried about the mental health of youth, including younger siblings, she hopes the government will create policy that incorporates diverse youth perspectives and, along with cohorts, is offering up this detailed blueprint on digital rights to help.
Digital spaces are human rights environments.
Youth are calling for clear federal action.
which include a National Youth Digital Safety Advisory Council with real decision-making, a statutory duty of care requiring platforms to assess and prevent harm.
Since France and Australia introduced social media bans for young people, there's been speculation as to whether Canada will do the same. Ottawa has promised a new online harms bill is coming. This group says bans police rather than protect, with adults telling youth to just be careful.
If anything does happen in an online space, it is our own fault.
They want to see a safety net instead, with improved reporting systems.
We're ready to work. The question is whether the government is ready to meet us with the same courage, humility, and urgency.
A spokesperson for the relevant minister's office tells CTV News they are aware of the recommendations and the government, quote, intends to act to better protect Canadians, especially children, from online harms, but did not offer any specifics nor a timeline for a new online harms bill. Abigail Beeman, CTV News, Ottawa.
Lace up for a good cause. A tradition returns to Espanola to help fight rare diseases. The 4th annual Skate-a-thon for rare diseases takes over the rec center this Saturday. The event was founded by Kelsey and Alex McKechnie in honor of their 4-year-old daughter, Iris May. Iris was diagnosed with infantile Pompe disease at just 3 months old. The condition affects the muscles and heart, requiring weekly transfusions. But McKechnie says Iris is defying the odds. She is thriving. And this weekend, she'll be out on the ice with everyone else.
It's really become a community event that people look forward to every year because it just brings people together. So, and that means so much to us. That yes, we are raising funds and yes, we are raising awareness, but the fact that we can bring people together to celebrate their bodies, their families, and just have a good time is really our optimal goal.
The Skate-a-thon runs from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. Admission is free, but donations are encouraged. The community has raised $180,000 for research over the last 4 years. 1 week after tragedy struck the community of Tumbler Ridge, BC, a group of Windsor quilters are looking to sow a message of support from thousands of kilometers away. CTV's Robert Lothian has that story.
Connecting each piece of fabric, quilter Marianne McLean considers the needle's direction, the desired pattern, and perhaps most important, the quilt's future home.
In the grand scheme of things, when you're making a quilt, sometimes you think about the people that you're making it for.
Right now, those people are members of the reeling community in Tumbler Ridge, BC. Last week, 8 people were killed by a shooter in an attack that spanned a northern BC school and residence. Looking to help, members of the Windsor Quilters Guild are trying to stitch together hope for those who need it.
It's just what we do, and it's nice to know that they have support from afar, and even from Windsor.
A guild member visiting BC first pitched the idea. Collaborating with quilting groups across the region, 15 quilts are already prepared to go. Warming figures and creative patterns, quilts are made for those of any age or gender.
It's a hug from far away, and makes us feel good.
Longtime quilter Sue Inkster, who herself lost a child at a young age, says sending messages of support is the Canadian thing to do. During past tragedies, like the 2018 Humboldt Broncos bus crash, Inkster says Windsor's quilters answered the call.
Feeling the sorrow they're feeling, and knowing that you're too far away to do anything. Saying anything doesn't help because we know that pain, so a quilt is a good answer.
The Guild is working to determine how to transport the quilts to BC, believing their arrival will carry a message to a community thousands of kilometers away.
They need to be comforted, and they need to know that we're along with them. It's warm, and it's a hug, and somebody somewhere is thinking about me.
Robert Lothian, CTV News, Windsor.
Cheering on Team Canada, still ahead on CTV News at 6. Students at the Sudbury School were able to watch our women's Olympic hockey team go for gold.
Clothing provided by Laura, Melanie Lynn.
Premier Doug Ford directed the Minister of Education to ensure all Ontario students can watch Canada's hockey teams compete in the Olympics. In Sudbury, McLeod Public School hosted a watch party to cheer on the Canadian women who played the United States today around 1 p.m. The game was on in the main foyer, and students from all grades sat together cheering on Team Canada, even disagreeing with the refs. They were all hoping this game would have a golden ending.
People are saying they lost the last game. I say, even though they lose one game, doesn't mean they're going to lose another.
It's really exciting to see just women be so good at what they do and just to be so passionate and so persevering about something that they love.
Marie Phillip Poulin, she's a really good inspiration. She broke the world time record for most goals scored by a woman. I was like, oh my God, I want to be her. She's so I don't know, she's an idol for me.
How do you think Canada's going to play?
Good, as long as they're good teammates.
Do you think they're good teammates?
Yes.
McLeod took the order very seriously, as the school was once attended by former Olympic gold medalist Rebecca Johnston. Team Canada wasn't able to get a win today, but the players are coming home with silver medals. Olympic viewers were between a curling rock and a hard place, trying to decide what to watch today, as Brad Jacobs was also on the ice. CTV's Scott Hurst has details around Canada's silver medal.
Team USA is the Olympic champion in women's hockey. It is a devastating loss for the Canadian women, who are looking to end a 7-game losing streak to their rivals. Canada will still leave Milano Cortina with a silver medal. The win for the Americans puts them back on top of the podium after losing the gold medal match to Canada at the Beijing Games 4 years ago.
It's so enormous, the Olympic Games, right? Every shift, every period.
Heading into the game, fans on both sides were ready to witness another chapter in this bitter rivalry. And it was Canada who allowed their fans to believe first. No goals in the opening frame, but very early in the second period, the red and white opened the scoring, while Team USA was on the power play. 27-year-old Kristen O'Neill from Oakville, Ontario, put Canada in the lead with the shorthanded goal, only the second goal Team USA had allowed all tournament. But late in the third, with just over 2 minutes to go, the USA finally broke through. America's captain Hillary Knight with the equalizer, and it would stay tied through the end of regulation. In overtime, it was Megan Keller for the Americans with the golden goal. Despite the loss for Canada, this rivalry continues to push the women's game to new heights.
These women are great athletes. They train hard, they prepare hard, they love the game, they have a passion for it.
With Canada's latest silver, it boosts our overall medal count to 15, with more podium opportunities on Friday. However, much of the attention will be back on hockey, a semi-final versus Finland. The Canadian men will get the chance to punch their ticket to the gold medal game. Scott Hurst, CTV News, Toronto.
As for Team Jacobs, they went to extra ends in men's curling semifinal action this afternoon, winning 5-4. They will play Great Britain for gold Saturday. Sudbury's Tracy Fleury and Team Homan won their match against Korea 10-7, qualifying them for the elimination rounds. Coast to coast girls hockey is growing. In an Olympic year, leagues see a spike in registration. In Quebec, this is part of an upward trend that has created great opportunities for young girls and some challenges for facilities. CTV's Kelly Gregg has more.
In Montreal West, these girls are gearing up for practice with a little help from mom and dad. Like many 7- and 8-year-olds, they've got opinions on what they want.
I was on a boys and girls team, and it's like, so I kind of just wanted to be on an all-girls team.
And across the province, there are more female squads than ever. Since the last Olympics, there are 3,000 more girls in Quebec playing hockey, and the number of teams has doubled. Hockey Quebec says it's thanks in part to the PWHL, but the Winter Olympic years provide an even bigger bump in registrations. And unlike the men's side, where there are no Quebecers on the team, 2 of the most prominent players are from here.
What we hear a lot is that there's not a lot, and which is true, there's not a lot of players from Quebec, and it's been a same thing, same kind of subject going on the boys and the men's side. But of course, the two difference maker on the team are from our province.
And these girls have taken notice.
I really like Marie-Philippe Poulain. I like Anne-Renee Debian.
But with the rising popularity comes challenges. Hockey Quebec says there simply aren't enough rinks to keep up with demand, meaning often girls are forced to play and practice at odd hours.
It's hard to get those ice times, so that's a huge problem. That's probably one of the biggest right now.
But despite that, these players take pride in being on an all-girls team, especially in a recent tournament where they beat the boys.
I think the dads were pretty mad that the boys got crushed by the girls. I just love hockey. I love working hard in practices, and then when we get to games, the hard work pays off.
And with Team Canada back in the spotlight, it's likely these girls could soon have even more teammates. Kelly Gregg, CTV News.
Two Northern OHL clubs are in action tonight. The North Bay Battalion are on the road. They'll face off against the Peterborough Petes, while the Sudbury Wolves travel to Saginaw to take on the Spirit. Both games are 7:05 starts. And in the NOJHL, the Timmins Rock roll into Sudbury to meet the Cubs. Game time is 7:10 at Countryside Arena. And tonight it's CTV News Night at the Sudbury 5 game as the team raises funds for the Shigamagakwe Health Center. The 5 will be sporting special jerseys designed by an Indigenous artist, which will be auctioned off to support the health center. Fans can bid on the game-worn jerseys until Thursday, February 26th. Entertainment news now, beginning with the latest from an iconic band. Here's David Daniel with tonight's Hollywood Report.
U2 pays tribute to Renee Nicole Good and the people of Minneapolis in American Obituary, the first track on the group's new EP, Days of Ash. The 6-track EP is out now in advance of a new album due late this year.
Everything that's new is a bit exotic and fun and attractive.
Kristen Bell is a new addition to the Sonic the Hedgehog franchise. Bell is set to voice Amy Rose in Sonic the Hedgehog 4, due in theaters in March of 2027. In the games, Amy Rose is a pink hedgehog with a crush on Sonic.
We did the sauce competition, we went to it, and we moved to New York City.
This was my last one, Mom. I don't want Dad.
I know, but you need a guardian.
I can, if you really need me.
What does really mean?
Right. No, you're right.
Here's your first look at Steve Zahn and his daughter Audrey Zahn in She Dances, about an estranged father and daughter on the road to her final dance competition. Mackenzie Ziegler, Rosemary DeWitt, Sonequa Martin Green, and Ethan Hawke also star. She Dances opens in theaters March 27th. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
Loblaw has partnered with Google to allow more shopping via artificial intelligence. The grocer says consumers will be able to shop for food, beauty products, and apparel directly through AI mode on Google Search and the tech giant's Gemini app. Loblaw says it sees AI assisting people in researching, comparing, and buying products as a natural evolution of how customers want to shop. The company says it's also expanding its use of Google Cloud's Vertex AI platform. Canada recorded a trade deficit last year of $31.3 billion. BNN Bloomberg's Lindsay Biscaya has more.
Apart from the pandemic, this was the widest annual shortfall on record. Data shows annual exports last year saw a drop, but a strong run-up in gold prices might have masked the true damage of the trade war. Exports of gold, silver, and platinum jumped nearly 42%. Exports to the U.S., meanwhile, fell almost 6%. And here are the closing numbers for the day. The Canadian dollar was up to end the day, sitting at 73.07. West Texas Intermediate climbed to 66.45. Western Canadian Select was also up to $49.64 a barrel. And the TSX hitting another all-time high today, ending the day at 33,594. And those are your business headlines. I'm Lindsay Biscaya.
And here are the current prices for some key commodities we watch. Gold is up $21.33, closing the day at $49.9840 US an ounce. Silver is up $1.10. Copper slipped 5 cents, and nickel is up 3 cents, ending at $7.67 US a pound. Now I have the pleasure of presenting your weather forecast for Friday, tomorrow. Let's take a look, starting with Sudbury. -1 will be your daytime high. 5 centimeters of snow expected. In through Timmins, a mix of sun and cloud, clearing skies, very comfortable, -2. As we head on over to Sault Ste. Marie, 1 degree, 2 to 4 centimeters of snow. As we move on over to North Bay, -1, 5 centimeters of snow. Parry Sound, well, more snow on the way, 1 degree and 1 and cloudy into Miscomin Shores. And finally, an elaborate takedown caught on camera. Undercover Thai police disguised as a dance crew in costume at a Lunar New Year celebration, arresting a suspected thief. This video shows the officers emerging from the traditional lion costume, pinning the suspect to the ground and making the arrest. The alleged thief is accused of stealing nearly $90,000 worth of Buddhist artifacts in a home burglary. With a few leads, police devised a plan to don the costumes and capture the suspect at the celebrations. Folks, that's what you call undercover work. And that's our show. Thanks for watching. We leave you now with some snowmobiling video. More news comes your way at 11:30 with Ian Campbell. Good night.